would seem. Because, yeah, our bit rate's unstable. Yep, we are back for the moment, guys, and I might have to settle for a 20 and 20 video, and that'll make 40 minutes. We can go to the next day, but Dear Jai, I regret to inform you that your services are no longer required. Please clear out your desk and leave by the end of this week. Signed, Doctor Dekker. Interesting. So, Jasmine's been fired. Not Jasmine, I mean Jaya. But I kind of want to get more things out of Lacey.
She went missing, and still is. And that's what people think. But it's not the truth.
So, what is the truth, Lacey?
It killed them. It looks normal enough. A smartly dressed, door-to-door saleswoman. I know because I heard my other neighbors shout at her. No Jehovah's! They think anyone knocking is a Jehovah. But she said she was selling double glazing.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't answer the door. Best not to nowadays. But I watched her go to Agnes's. Poor Agnes. She let her right into her house. A person into a world. It looked like, I guess you'd call it a Medusa. And Agnes just fell to the floor. A few minutes later, the woman left, smiling like the cat that got the cream. That was the end of Agnes.
Oh, man.
I saw it with my own eyes. What more proof do I need? You're starting to sound like Doctor Dekker. He didn't believe me either.
Well, tell me about
I didn't
Dekker.
have much luck with him, like I said. He didn't believe me. He thought I was having a hallucination caused by the stress of my neighbor being so brutally murdered. Where is Agnes, though? I haven't found her, have they? Have they?
Huh.
They haven't found her because that thing ate her. Or made her
you are really
disappear or
sure.
something. Her useless husband managed to survive unscathed, though. Don't know much about him.
Huh.
Other than the fact that he looks at me like I'm 6 foot under every time we meet.
Well, dang.
He
That
doesn't seem
good.
too bothered she's gone missing either. He did at first, when the police were crawling around. But now they've gone, that's stopped. If I hadn't seen that thing eat her, I'd...
You'd what?
No. He's a weaselly little man who spends far too much time in his garden. He's probably like the National Trust back there. The constant digging and building, pruning and sawing.
I think his husband killed Agnes.
What a thing to say! Why would you say that? I kept watching the front door after that saleswoman had left and nothing. She didn't leave, and you can't get out the back since the council sold the garage block. Ron's a gardener, not a killer.
You can be both.
Unless...
Unless what, Lacey? I have to know. Unless what, Lacey?
Ron was laying the foundations for a new greenhouse. You don't think...
I think Ron killed her and buried her in that new greenhouse area you talking about.
I need to call the police. I need to call them now. But they won't listen to me. I tried to tell them about the monster, but they didn't believe me. They won't believe me about this, I promise you. Please, could you call them, Doctor?
You know what? Yeah, I'll call them.
Thank you, Doctor. Now give me a pen and I'll write down the details for you. Don't you want to know why Dr. Dekker called me the leech lady?
Excuse me, what? Why?
He said that I leech thoughts from people. Suck 'em right out of their heads. And I can put thoughts in there too. I'm not that clever though, am I, Doctor? I mean, it's not as if I was having an affair with Ron and Agnes was in the way and needed to disappear. So I made
Excuse me, what?
story up. I mean, what do you think I do for a living anyway? Doctor, you're so good. We're going
I figured
to
that.
just fine. I was at Henley Church. They had a service that ran right up till midnight. For us less fortunates without a love in their life. Well, now. Do you have someone, Doctor? Do you have a love in your life?
No, I'm happily single.
Garden club. You should come with me one night. It's a lovely way to meet new people.
Oh yeah, everybody else just doesn't want to talk. Which is a little bit disconcerting. Jaya seems to have all the questions. Tell me about Bryce.
I think Bryce has a lot of misdirected anger. I don't think I like him that much. You know, sometimes when things overrun, he's outside waiting for you, and he stares at me as if he's undressing me with his eyes. You know, he's not the first person that's done that, but still, you know, it feels worse coming from him.
Well, dang, Jaya.
Mariana is a special girl.
Why you say it like that?
There's something about her that just makes you want to follow her. Maybe that's what a trendsetter looks like. Good choice. I'll go and see Ben to see if I can get him to call off the dogs. I have no idea what's gotten into him. Perhaps it's his mum.
Huh.
It's smashed. So you watched the tapes. Gold star for you.
Please don't be a cosmic whore, Jaya. Please.
Most of the patients are suspects, according to the police. Almost all the patients are referred. Some of them are privates. But Dr. Dekker didn't introduce any of them.
What's Ben?
She was cuddling him like he was 6. He's 25.
Well, Jasmine, Lacey. Alright, let's head to the next day. Yeah, I kind of don't have a choice.
I can change my skin.
Then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients. I had a hot
What?
date. We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did phone
On Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number. Finding
Photographs.
patterns.
Rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since,
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden. I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
What?
Oh,
Hello, Jai.
Doctor, you surprised me. Reminds me of Officer Yates. Did I ever mention I had a special friend in the police force? Nah, it's not something you drop politely into a conversation.
True.
He's been doing some digging and he's found a couple things. There's a crime scene report that goes into all the gory details and another report that's about a patient you're seeing today, Claire.
Claire.
I'll put them both on the desk for you. And thanks for the grief counselling, by the way. It's really been helping, you know, I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks, Jaya. See you later. Ooh, boy. Arrest report says Claire killed David. Underline some things to ask her about. I wonder if Bryce buried David. What happened with Ben? Issues about the paper spike. Too much to do today. Okay, so let's go over. We'll go over Claire's arrest report. Statement, Kristen Weber, police officer 7691. My best of knowledge, the statement is true. I understand I may be prosecuted if I stated anything that I know to be untrue. At 20:40 hours, Tuesday, 8th November, myself and PC 9725 Hope responded to a call received from a neighbor of the Bower House, Weston Park Avenue. Concerning a reported disturbance, we arrived at the address and knocked at the front door, but there was no reply. We then examined the rear property and gained entry through the insecure patio doors. We entered the property through this door, and I announced myself by shouting, "Police!" but did not hear any response. We searched the premises. Upon entering the dining room, I saw a female seated next to a man who was lying on the ground. The man did not appear to be conscious. Both persons were drenched in blood. There was a substantial amount of blood on the carpet, walls, and furniture. I noted what appeared to be a steak knife on the floor, which was also covered in blood. At this point, I asked the woman to put her hands on her head, which she did. PC Holt secured the female while I checked the male for signs of life, but found none. I asked the woman her name, and she identified herself to me as Claire Castleford. I asked if she knew the dead man, and she said he was her husband, David Castleford. I asked what had happened, and she said that she had killed him. Following a search by PC Host, which revealed no other persons present at the house, said to Castleford at 20:52 hours, "You are under arrest on suspicion of murder." I then cautioned her and placed her in the back of the police car for transport to Weston Park Police Station. Ooh, interesting. Next, crime scene report. Crime scene summary 22-1-1084, February 14th. Dr. Dekker. The victim was located in his office, seated on a chair behind the desk, soaked in blood with an obvious chest wound. Possible murder weapon: paper spike, desk accessory, 150 millimeters long, protruding from approximate region of the victim's heart. Coroner's initial findings estimated from liver temperature measurements to be between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. on Valentine's Day. Reportedly discovered at 10:20 p.m. on Valentine's Day. Exangulation due to punctuation of the left anterior descending coronary.
A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon.
Is it though?
I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain.
Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
No, do you know, Claire? Clearly you know a lot about murder. Well, dang. But first, how are you today?
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
So it would seem. Have you seen your arrest report?
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away.
Alright. Arrested for murder.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused.
Yes.
The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know. He's alive.
Sure. David's alive. Tell me where David's at. Did you intend to fatally wound
David
him?
wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her.
Uh-oh.
He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody.
Well...
I reacted badly.
And you stabbed
I
him.
grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it.
Did you now?
So, I fixed him.
How? How did you fix him?
It was about a week later. I brought David back to life.
Oh, great.
Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection.
Sure wasn't Dekker? Sure wasn't Astaroth? Narlothep? Shog? One of those two?
He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face.
Alright, who else is
should
connected to
ask
this? Who was it? Bryce? Nathan?
Bryce was a pallbearer for David.
Ah.
He's also a grave digger, I believe.
Oh, that makes sense. I still want to know what you know about the other patient.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people.
Excuse me, what? Okay.
Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer, raising things from the dead.
Oddly specific. So I'm guessing David's not much of a speaker. He's probably just flopping around.
I think
He's not
his
trying to
brain was
bite you, is he?
already decaying during the week that he was dead.
Ah.
Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's
Oh, okay.
He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem.
Huh. You know, Wes brought that up during the reanimator. You can bring folks back, but the brain capacity is usually kind of...
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive.
He's
And
not
I can't
alive?
get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me.
And how can I help you, Claire?
Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder. To lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer. But I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor?
Oh boy. Whew. This is leading into some moral waters. Technically, David's back, but due to my knowledge of Necronomicon stuff, that's not completely David. Technically, he's sort of alive, but he's not. Huh. It's a tough choice. It's technically you just have a ghoul running around. But, But you know what, Claire? I'm gonna give you the benefit of a doubt as I have the rest of these patients. Maybe you're not a killer.
Thank you, Doctor. So then you'll help me. You'll say I was temporarily insane.
Sure. Why not? Technically, I'm not your doctor. Dekker was.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all I needed to hear. From you or Dr. Dekker. But Dr. Dekker wouldn't do that for me.
Of course he would.
He wanted something else.
And what did Dekker want?
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability.
Hmm.
He didn't believe I'd reanimated David, give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
Ah, the one you kept seeing, eh?
Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house.
Ah.
He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Hell no. You got a ghoul out there. But you know what? It piqued my morbid curiosity. Can I bring like a weapon or something?
Very well. In our next session.
You seem awfully reasonable, Claire.
He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house.
Excuse me?
Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her. It was Iris.
What?
I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem.
Okay,
So
so
I agreed.
Dekker was up to some
I
stuff.
just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real.
Ooh.
But he was offering me what I wanted. A temporary insanity diagnosis.
And so...
It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious. He said that Iris had escaped, and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways.
Huh.
He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
Okay. Did you speak to the girl at the lake
I
house?
didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands.
Oh, right.
I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Wow, that was creepy.
How astute, Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the lake house was made during a session.
How technical.
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
I can explain to you, but it goes beyond just science.
Since I brought him back, I felt that there was something different about him. Something not quite right. I think it's his brain. But how ludicrous that you can bring someone back in the first place. It's like that book, Pet Cemetery. Funnily
I know
enough,
the one.
He does smell of earth, but that's because he spends most of his time out hunting.
Huh.
I assure you, David is not a ghost. I've touched him.
I don't need to know the details.
If David doesn't exist, then that means that I really did kill him. He really is buried, and I really should be going to prison for a very long time. That just doesn't seem right to me.
Going to prison,
It's
Claire?
more probable that I reanimated him under Dr. Dekker's guidance.
Thing is, Dekker didn't believe you as well. Alright, guys, looks like we're out of questions for Claire, so let's see who we're gonna ask next. We'll talk to Nathan. Should we talk to Bryce? Nah, Nathan. Nathan will do. Alright. Let's talk about Hannah.
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore? Thanks for the dating advice, by the way.
Well, well. My advice helped. So we should talk to Iris when we get the chance, I guess.
You told me not to look for anyone else until I was ready. So I didn't. I've just been sitting at home, reading Hannah's diary, stewing. I ordered a pizza. A nice girl delivered it.
Did you ask her out, Nathan? First of all, before you get into details, how are you today?
I found the photos of Hannah. It didn't work. I suppose because the loss was superficial. The next thing I burned was the rocking chair. That worked. I've been getting rid of her stuff ever since. There was a day when I attacked a Salvation Army bin, but I gave in.
Oh, dang.
I accidentally put Hannah's diary into a Salvation Army donation bin. They're like huge post boxes with a circular tray that makes sure things spill to the bottom.
I know.
I tried to get in to get it back, but I gave up. I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it.
But you
She said
did.
she'd fallen out of love with me.
Whoa, dang.
That she was going to break off the engagement. That she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it.
What did you regret?
I regretted that I mourned for Hannah so long. I regret the grief. I regret all the days I slept through because of it. Had I known she didn't love me anymore, things would have been different. I'm a bit angry now. If I had that day over again, I may just still pull out in front of the driver.
Oh, dang. Let's talk about the paper spike.
I didn't notice Dr. Dekker had a paper spike. I haven't really seen more than a foot in front of me since Hannah died.
Okay, so Nathan doesn't know about the murder weapon.
I've told you all I know about Dr. Dekker. He started out good, then turned a bit crazy towards the end. When you start giving people more problems as a therapist, that's a bit crazy.
Dang, you're right.
I think that he possibly cursed other people, a bit like he cursed me. Sometimes you could see he was bursting to tell me about it, but he couldn't. He was ecstatic with power.
Huh. What kind of curse did he give you, Nathan?
Curse. Or remembered. I was hoping he'd forget. It's going to sound crazy. Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him.
Huh.
I didn't want to believe him. I remember I said, you can't just say things and they happen.
Well,
He
I
laughed
don't know.
and laughed.
What the young folks call it,
think he's going
manifesting.
He said he'd give me a demonstration.
Huh. And what did Dekker
He held his
do?
hand outstretched and told me to look at the flame. There was no flame. And then there was. He was holding a flame in his hand that had come out of nowhere.
Excuse me, what?
And he tried to hypnotize me to make me forget it.
Alright. Yo, we're gonna pretend we didn't see that.
didn't forget seeing the flame. He wanted me to forget it all, but I didn't. Whatever reason, he couldn't undo what he'd done. I was scared. I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
Alright, y'all, we're gonna have to forget and try to remember that flame. Be scared too.
I was scared what Dr. Dekker would do to me if he found out I still knew. So I had to play along. Keep coming to the sessions. Pretend I hadn't seen what he'd done. It was awful, because I was suffering through the same days over and over again. But I couldn't talk to him about it, because he'd know. He'd become bored of me. So I got much of my insight from calls or messages he'd take during our sessions. I think because he hypnotized me, he didn't want to play with me anymore. So I got basic therapist. He told me lots of people get depression. To become more active, to see more people. And although he wouldn't always be there to listen, Jaya would be.
Huh. Do you know Jaya well?
Jaya was a great listener. Much better than Dr. Dekker. I think she would have made a great psychiatrist. Do you know, he tried to fire her.
Fire? He did, I believe.
Yeah, he fired her. Jaya told me about it. You should ask her.
I most certainly will, Nathan.
Started out with
But
depression.
we need to finish your test.
Now I seem to repeat days. Even if you don't believe the repeat days, then I clearly have extra mental health problems that he's given me.
Tell me about the pizza girl.
It took a week of days to get that pizza girl to smile. And you know what did it? A tip, as much as the pizza cost. So money does make you happy.
Well, I say money makes you comfortable.
I didn't kill Dr. Dekker. I wanted to be as far away from him as possible. I don't know who did.
Alright, I'll take your word for it, Nathan. Let's talk to Mariana. First order of business. Let's see.
Dr. Dekker used to put my checks on that thing. I guess someone thought they weren't getting value for money.
Huh.
I actually don't have a lot of money. Sometimes a therapy check would bounce, but Dr. Dekker would be okay with it. Oh, my checks are fine though, don't worry.
I hope so. I can't be doing this for free.
I'm not broke. Men buy me drinks at bars though. Sometimes I'll get away with not paying at restaurants. Isn't that how it is for everybody?
No! I still gotta pay for my meals and drinks.
I mainly like drive-thrus. I don't like crowds, and I find it difficult to stay in the same place for too long. I guess I'm a fidget. Crowds at nightclubs and bars are different. The lights are dim. You can slink around without attracting too much attention.
Interesting. Why slink?
Sometimes I'll kiss a guy in a club, and then he just follows me. Wherever I go. It's creepy.
Huh.
I don't want everyone seeing that.
Oh, Jaya mentioned that too, that you just can't help but follow Mariana. Interesting.
They
Let's find out.
follow me. Wherever I go. Anywhere. Where do you think they follow me, Doctor?
Do they follow you to the water?
It depends where they follow me. If they follow me home, they bang on the door for an hour or so, then leave. Other places, they just disappear. I don't see them again. They don't just disappear into thin air. I think
Okay.
they return to the place I found them.
Think?
But I've not run into the same person twice.
Okay, now that's interesting. First, after all that line, we gotta ask how you doing.
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day.
Don't we all? Heading to the yellow point. So, let's see. I want to ask more about rent day, but we'll be running out of questions soon. Let's talk about the
I've had no
blackouts.
blackouts, and I haven't been to the beach since our last session. But I think I will today. Do you want to come with me to the beach?
You know what, Mariana? If you promise not to drown me, sure, why not?
Doctor, I think you're getting a little anxious. If you ever wanted to visit the beach, you can just turn up. It's not mine.
Before you mentioned something beautiful.
You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream about a light. Deep in the ocean somewhere. I head towards it because it's warm and glowing. Like a beacon. And when I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing.
Is it now?
Like a welcoming sun. Like I'm home. And then I wake up. It's so beautiful. It calls me. It's like I'm in a trance.
Oh.
What does the dream mean, Doctor?
I don't know. Could be that your home's at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. Could be your ends mouth. Blood connection, who knows?
I guess. I hate being in the same place for too long. Maybe I'm always searching for paradise or something.
What's rent day?
Rent day is the day I pay rent to my landlady. It's just good manners to accept when someone offers to buy you a drink.
That's
I'm a
understandable.
very good-natured girl. Don't you think I'm sweet, Doctor?
I don't know if I should answer. More for my own personal safety, of course. Sure, why not?
I think you're falling for me, Doctor.
No, I'm not.
Don't let that get in the way of helping me.
Maybe Jaya. But, I don't know. Tell me a little bit more about Dr. Dekker.
Are we still talking about him? And I thought you were just interested in me, Doctor.
Somebody killed my predecessor. I still want to know.
Dr. Dekker suggested home visits.
I'm sure he did.
I think he was probably checking up on his investment. You're not thinking of doing home visits, are you, Doctor?
Nah, I'm good.
That's good. I'm not sure I can afford any more of your time. Yes, they follow me home. They're silent. It's like a trance.
That's creepy.
There was one guy, a real gym body. I let him into the bedroom, but nothing. Nothing I did would stop him just staring at me.
Will do.
I got him to follow me outside, and then I just shut the door.
Alright, we can't ask Mariana any more questions, so let's talk to Ellen.
It's true then. I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure.
You seem excited about this,
But
Ellen.
whoever did it would choose the paper spike. Dr. Dekker used to play with it in our sessions sometimes. You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the spike through his skin. At this bit, here, between his thumb and his finger.
Holy crap!
He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood being a nurse and all that, but actually, there wasn't any.
So, my theory is right, and Dekker was an entity himself.
I was a bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick, you know? Like some kind of therapeutic test. Show the patient this retractable spike and see how they react. But it wasn't. The spike was real. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't.
Mind over matter.
It's fine. Works fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's Terry. Oh, you'd be pleased to know I don't have the locket anymore.
Good.
I gave it back. All of it. Every single
Good,
piece.
Ellen. You are making progress. I like to see that.
Hilda's nearing the end. She's been sleeping a lot, not eating much. She hasn't been that argumentative either.
She's what's term my folks
Although,
call it, traveling.
She did give me a vicious scratch yesterday. It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds.
Were you, Ellen?
It's hard, you know.
Were you?
I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight. She hasn't got much time left.
Huh.
You know the answer to that, Doctor. What have we been talking about? What can I do for Hilda